ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनच्छलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सारजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful Balram Purnima and hope you're all preparing your consciousness for the most auspicious festival of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, which is on the following week, Friday. So please prepare your consciousness and looking at the schedule, even though today we'll be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, I was thinking that since Friday is Janmashtami, I think we should utilize our Wednesday class, even the coming week, to discuss, Krishna Janmashtami, if you are all okay. So we'll do that. Then following week, we will resume Chaitanya Charitamrita. We cannot, I just realized it is Friday itself, so we don't even get the Saturday opportunity. So we'll discuss something that day. I think it's just nice to prepare on Wednesday night for Friday morning. So we'll continue for today our discussion on the Rudra Gita. विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामी नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य स्थाने मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुम लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम। हरि ओम तत्सत। हरे कृष्ण। So we are so honored and so blessed. We have the opportunity to hear and discuss the beautiful song by Lord Shiva, Rudra Gita. That is the beauty of the Bhagavatam. That the Bhagavatam, of course, there are so many stories, so many pastimes across so many Vedic literatures. And sometimes we may wonder, why Bhagavatam has certain things, certain episodes included. And Vyasdev at the beginning of the Bhagavatam itself has clarified Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. That all other cheating religion has been dispensed away with, and the Bhagavatam focuses on the topmost subject, which will actually please the heart, which is about pure devotional service, directly, or those subjects which lead and strengthen our faith in pure devotional service or support pure devotional service. That is the exclusive focus. So every narration, every pastime has been very carefully chosen. Nothing is whimsical. Lord Shiva has said so many things across so many scriptures. But the topmost subject matter where he is revealing his deepest heart has been shared in the scriptures of Bhagavatam in the form of Rudra Gita and a few other places where Lord Shiva has given his very, very beautiful wisdom and advice with respect to what is it that is most desirable for living entities. The main problem with the vast majority of living entities, and most of us were also in the same situation, hopefully we are no longer in that situation, was what is the actual Purushartha? Means what is it that is worth desiring for? What is that perfect goal to work for, having achieved which nothing else remains to be achieved? It will lead to our complete full satisfaction and satiation, not just for a short while, but for eternity. And that is the topic of the Bhagavad. That is why it gives up cheating religion. Why? Because cheating religion gives temporary results, which may sound exciting, but which don't really give any lasting benefit and just keep the living entity struggling in the ocean of material existence. So we'll continue our discussion on this chapter. So until now, we have discussed how Lord Shiva, who's instructing the Prachetas with respect to what is the best way that they can make advancement, what is the best way that they can purify themselves. He tells them that how you can purify your body, mind, senses by offering respects to various forms and aspects of the Lord, both the Lord and his various representatives as the Devatas, so that the whole body is properly purified to be perfectly situated in meditation on the Lord. There's a very beautiful saying Prabhupada often says that to interact with the Lord, you have to become qualitatively like the Lord. Which essentially means that unless one is properly purified and situated on a transcendental platform, one cannot actually connect with the transcendental platform. And the Lord is always on the transcendental platform. So it is very important. If you are engaging with something in the mode of ignorance, then if you are in the mode of ignorance, you can relate at that level. If you're in mode of passion, you can relate easily with things in mode of passion. Mode of goodness, we can relate with mode of goodness. But if you want to relate to transcendence, you have to come. And that is why in the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna very beautifully says, he says that those who are on the Brahman platform, those who achieve the transcendental platform, Mad Bhaktim Labade Param. For them, it is possible to engage in pure devotional service to me, which means pure devotional service happens once one has transcended the modes. Of course, right now we are doing bhakti as a sadhana, but true transcendence in a stable state is possible only when we become purified from all material contamination through advancement in spiritual life. So Lord Shiva explains the method by which the living entity can be properly purified. And this is why if you study the Vedic system of worship, the system of meditation, the system of rituals, the Vedic system, those who are familiar with yajnas, those who are familiar with pujas, there is actually a system. Sometimes people wonder why so much time the ceremony goes on. And if you deeply analyze, you will realize that out of the 2-hour ceremony, maybe the actual core of that particular ceremony maybe only 15-20 minutes. But so much of the time is preparation, purification, to make oneself properly aligned to actually get the right result from the worship. Because people who are not conversant with spiritual subject matters, they think, oh, worshipping the Lord is just a matter of ritual. Which means, oh, yeah, if you just wanted to offer one flower like this, I can offer right away. Why have to bother? And one comes from the supermarket, keeps on, yeah, come, I'll quickly offer. Okay, done. Why you are spending 45 minutes preparing yourself? What I can offer the flower. But if you want to connect to the Lord on the transcendental platform, just placing a flower at an external level will not achieve the desired result. If you do not have the right consciousness, you will not be able to tap into that energy. You will not be able to connect at the transcendental platform, and you will not be able to get the right benefit. So people who do not understand this transcendental science, they think all this is a waste of time. Even in so many material subject matters, the actual core of a particular method may be a small bit, but just to get to that place, that state, to be able to do that, one requires so much preparation. Anyway, so that is the principle. So we should understand that. So having purified himself, of course, Lord Shiva in this case is doing a demo. Now, what does that mean? He is praying. He's saying, Prachetas, you see and observe what I'm doing. Okay. So this is how I'm doing. You all very carefully observe, remember everything. I am teaching by demonstration. So first he purifies, and then he says, now that all this purification is done, now that we are ready to worship the Lord, Lord Shiva now enters into starting to pray to the Lord. Until now was preparation to pray. Now he begins to pray to the Lord. So even to pray requires preparation. So he has prepared to be qualified to pray properly. And what he is praying for, he is praying to get the darshan of the Lord, to see the transcendental form of the Lord. And what he is doing in the next few verses, almost 8-10 verses, I think, he is describing the transcendental form of the Lord, which he is desiring to see. Now, these kind of descriptions, wherever they are in the scriptures, those who are attracted to the Lord, attached to the Lord, they enjoy this section. Why? Because it is a direct description of the transcendental form of the Lord. The transcendental form of the Lord is extremely attractive. So many of these verses are very, very significant, very, very beautiful. So I'm going to recite quite a bit of the verses today, just for our purification. Of course, I'll tell the meaning also. I'm going to go through fast because my intention is to complete the chapter today. Let's see whether we can complete or not. Krishna willing, because suddenly some point comes to my mind and I may get into that explanation deeper. So let's see how far we get, but that's my intention. So first, Lord Shiva is praying to the Lord, I want to see your form. Darshanam no didikshunam dehi bhagavata architam rupam priyatamam swanam sarvendriya gunanjanam. I wish to see that form of yours, O Lord, which is worshipped by the devotees. Not any concocted form, but an authentic form which is worshipped by the devotees. Because there are so many forms of the Lord, but doesn't mean that all forms are forms of God. So, some people say that, oh, so many forms are there, so I can worship anything. So I can just imagine and create a form. No. These are authorized forms as per the scriptures. You cannot say, I will take a picture of a dog and because I like dogs so much, I will imagine that this dog is God and worship. No, you will not get transcendental benefit like that. But yes, if the Lord takes an incarnation in the form of a dog, at least I'm not aware of any such incarnation. But I'm not saying there is none. There may be, because we do not know all the incarnations of the Lord. And then we worship, and with that understanding, that particular form of the Lord, then it's fine. If you just worship any pig as God, you'll not get a result. But if you worship Varahadev, the boar incarnation, then you can achieve transcendence. These transcendental forms of yours, O Lord, are liked by the devotees. And such forms, the special feature of these forms is Sarvendriya Gunanjanam. It's a very, very important word. Sarvendriya. See, all of us are wanting to satisfy our senses. Right now, our senses are very busy in material engagement and we are trying to find pleasure and enjoyment, but we are always getting frustrated. But the senses are coming from, ultimately, from the transcendental Lord, isn't it? The Lord's senses are expanded, that potency is expanded into the jivas. And the real perfection of all senses is in contact with the Lord. What does that mean? The perfection of the eyesight is to see the transcendental, beautiful form of the Lord. The perfection of the nose. When will the nose be most satisfied? When it will smell the beautiful tulsi and the flowers offered to the Lord, or even smell the transcendental fragrance of the Lord's body. The Lord's body doesn't need perfume. We need deodorants, perfumes. The Lord's body is transcendentally fragrant. Sometimes Radharani and the gopis, they will go somewhere and they will understand Krishna has passed this way just by the fragrance of the place. Oh, this smells like Krishna. Of course, Krishna's fragrance, there are some acharyas who have described, in detail, how the smell of Krishna's transcendental bodies. Anyway, we will not go into that topic today. But it's very intoxicating, a very divine fragrance. So all the senses, the perfection of touch is to touch the transcendental body of the Lord by, massaging his feet. So, Sarvendriya Gunanjanam. Oh Lord, Shivaji is saying, this is the perfect festival for all senses. What is the perfect festival? Your transcendental form. And that is why devotees are so absorbed. And that transcendental form of the Lord, for us at our stage, we can access either in the deity form or even through the process of the chanting of the holy name, because the transcendental name and the form of the Lord are not different. In advanced stages, through the name, one can actually access the form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of God. Lord Shiva continues. So he says that this is, so the point is, this is what will give us pleasure. So everybody is looking for pleasure, but living entities do not know where to look for pleasure. They get frustrated because they are trying to engage the senses outward, but they are not engaging the senses inward. They are not engaging the senses in the service of the Lord of the senses. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevana. So if you want to completely satisfy our senses, they should be engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and especially just by engaging fully our senses in the transcendental form of the Lord and serving the transcendental form. And for us, it is possible through deity worship and through meditation. One can feel complete satisfaction. Then he describes the Lord's beauty. He says, Snigdha Pravrat Ghanashyamam. Snigdha Pravrit. He is glistening. It's a shining body. The Lord is not dark, in a negative sense. He's Ghanashyam, but it's a glistening, beautiful color. Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Very beautiful. He is the sum total of all beauty. Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. Each and every limb of the transcendental body of the Lord is extraordinarily beautiful. Now, this topic itself, we can go on discussing for all eternity and we will never complete. But the Lord's transcendental body is so beautiful, so beautiful. In fact, in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord just gives some idea by saying, he doesn't directly say this with respect to his transcendental form, but the Lord says, Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam shrimad urjitamayva tattat evavagachatvam mama tejamsha sambhavam. Whatever extraordinary beauty, splendor, anything that you see in this world, material world, understand it's just a spark of my splendor. Krishna's beauty is, in simple words, unimaginable for us. Like we said, right? Even Kamadev, he saw the Lord and he fell down unconscious by seeing the beauty of the Lord. Even Lord Krishna, when he saw his own beauty, he became stunned. We discussed this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he says, "Oh, I'm so beautiful, I'm so attractive. Oh, that's why Radharani is finding such great pleasure. So I must also become like her, so I can experience my own beauty and sweetness." And what kind of form? Now, this particular meditation that Lord Shiva is explaining about is with respect to Lord Narayan's form. So he's saying, Charva Ayata Chaturbahu, long forearms, Sujata Ruchirananam, very beautiful face. Padma Kosha Palashaksham, lotus-eyed petals, Sundara Bhru Sunasikam, very beautiful eyebrows, Sunasikam, very beautifully shaped nose. Sudvija Sukapolasyam Samakarna Vibhushanam, beautiful teeth, very fine forehead, a very broad forehead, and well-proportioned decorated ears. And this beauty of the Lord, the face of the Lord is so beautiful. Now, of course, words have their limitations. So Lord Shiva is trying to describe in terms of words. But the truth is we cannot actually imagine or conceive of it, because words, how can you describe in words that beauty which is unparalleled? So sometimes in the scriptures, it is said the Lord's beauty is described by comparing to a lotus, by comparing it to a particular flower, by comparing the eyes to a lotus petal. But the acharyas say that actually it is not that the beauty of the Lord's eyes is like a lotus petal. The Lord's eyes is millions of times more beautiful than a lotus petal. But since some example has to be given to us to be able to mentally conceive the form and appreciate the Lord's beauty, develop a sense of appreciation to whatever little extent possible. The closest material example within our experience is given so that we get some hint. So those who think that, the lotus petal is more beautiful than the Lord's lotus eyes, it's not true. Lord's eyes are. And that is why the scriptures always describe that the jewelry on the Lord's body becomes beautiful by being on the Lord's body. It's not that the jewelry makes the Lord's body beautiful. And that's why the most confidential servants of the Lord, especially in Braja, devotees are more interested in seeing the Lord's transcendental body, because that is the epitome of beauty. The jewelry is secondary. Priti prahasita pangam alakai rupa shobhitam lasat pankajak kinjalka dukulam rishtakundalam. And the Lord's face is beautiful and he's giving beautiful glances. The Lord is never in a grumpy mood. It is not that one day you'll go and see the Lord and you'll see the Lord grumpy, depressed. The Lord is always exuding an amazing kind of joy. And he's glancing and spreading that joy through his glance. And that kind of that look on the Lord's face, the way he's looking, is showering affection on all those who are And that is why in Vraja also or anywhere, the devotees are hankering for the Lord to look at him. Because that sight is so, the Lord's one glance is so very satisfying. It cannot be described. Very, very satisfying to the heart. And the beauty of the Lord is enhanced with his curling hair. He's wearing a yellow colored cloth, which is of the color of the pollen of the lotus. And he's wearing beautiful glittering earrings, beautiful crown, bracelets, necklace, anklets, a belt. Mekhalam. Mekhalam means belt. Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Mala Mani Uttamadrimat. And he's decorated with corn, chakra, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and garlands and jewels. The Lord's shoulders are very broad, like a lion's shoulder. And they glitter with the reflection of the jewels which are decorated. Because this is Narayan's body, lot of jewelry. Narayan's body has a lot of jewelry. Krishna's body, the jewels are generally much lesser. There are some forest garlands. There are some. Krishna has some specific jewelry he wears. It's there, but it is lesser and is more natural. And the Kaustuba jewel, which is bedecking his neck. The chest of the Lord is shining resplendent with a beautiful mark. Which is the Srivatsa mark, the mark of Lakshmi Devi. So Lakshmi Devi is present on the Lord's chest as a line. It's a golden colored line. Sometimes the Shastras describe it as a white hair or a silver hair. And the example of the comparison given here is just like there is a gold testing stone and then the gold is rubbed against the testing stone and there's a black colored stone. You know, you see when gold is rubbed multiple, you'll see a gold streak on that stone. So it's very beautiful. Similarly, you know, just like it seems as if the Lord's chest is like a gold testing stone and there is a streak of a golden line on his chest. It looks more beautiful than that. Again, you know, the Bhagavatam says that is the closest comparison we can give, but just to give you some idea, it is more beautiful. His chest, which is glowing with the mark of imperishable Lakshmi, surpasses that of a gold testing stone. His abdomen and the lines on his abdomen look like a banyan leaf. And his navel is very deep because from there, the whole universe has sprouted. It's very twirled and deep. And it is so beautiful, the navel, that the universe, which has come out from his navel, wants to go back into his navel. Because wondering, this is a very beautiful poetic comparison. Because the universe is thinking, oh, the navel of the Lord is so beautiful. Why did I come out from that navel? Let me go back in. Then the lower part of the Lord's body is also very attractive. Shamashroni adhiro chishnu dukula swarna mekhalam sama charvangri jangoru nimna janu sudarshanam. The Lord's beautiful black hips are covered with cloth and enclosed with a mekhalam belt. He is very elegant with symmetrical feet, calves, thighs, and knees. So having described broadly the transcendental beauty of the body of the Lord Shiva now describes the Lord's lotus feet, because those lotus feet of the Lord, Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suraya. All the devatas are always aspiring to worship the lotus feet of the Lord. So the lotus feet of the Lord are Muktipad. The perfection of liberation, which is bhakti, is available at the lotus feet of the Lord. The devotees always want. The devotees never consider themselves very qualified. We discussed last couple of classes, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how even the greatest of devotees want to be at the feet. Lakshmi, who's on the chest, goes down and massages the feet. The greatest of Nanda Maharaj says, I want to serve Krishna's lotus feet. So Krishna's lotus feet are very attractive. So devotees, great devotees are not eager, oh, why I'm at the feet, I should be at the top. Let me add that. Of course, they appreciate the transcendental form of the Lord, but there's a special attraction because feet means service. They're especially attracted to the transcendental feet, where resides the perfection of all attainments. Padasharat Padma Palasharochisha Nakhadyubir no Antar Agham Vidunvata Pradarshaya Swiyam Apasta Sadvasam Padam Guru Marga Guru Stamojusham. Your two lotus feet, O Lord, are beautiful like the autumn lotus petals, lotus feet. And they dissipate the darkness in the heart by the effulgence of the toenails. The toenail of the Lord, especially, is described in the Shastras, very effulgent. It's very shining, it's very bright. It's like the Brahman effulgence coming from the toenail of the Lord. Of course, the Brahman effulgence comes from everywhere, but the toenail is especially shining. And this is described in many other scriptures as the toenails. And that's why when the Devatas, that Vishnoho Paramam Padam, and there's a very specific verse, I do not remember that, which describes that the Devatas are especially attracted to the effulgence which comes from the toenails of the Lord. Our toenails actually require a lot of pedicure to even become presentable. But the Lord's one are very transcendently beautiful, very beautiful. His lotus feet are so extraordinarily beautiful. So kindly show me that form of yours, O Lord, which dissipates the darkness in the heart of a devotee. So when we meditate on this transcendental form, simply by meditating on this form, the darkness in the heart, all the lower modes, ignorance, everything gets dissipated. We are covered in ignorance. Oh Guru, you are the Adi Guru. Oh Krishna, oh Narayan, you are the Adi Guru. You are the teacher of bhakti. Please dissipate all ignorance and engage us in bhakti. Srila Prabhupada has been very kind to all of us. He has, based on these various descriptions in the Bhagavatam, he instructed his various disciples to paint very beautiful pictures of the Lord. And that's why in ISKCON, in the books of ISKCON, you see so many beautiful pictures of the transcendental beauty of Lord Hari, Lord Narayan, Krishna, and so many other incarnations. They are so beautiful. And can you imagine, most of these paintings were done by Westerners who had no idea of the Eastern culture. But just by Prabhupada's instructions and the guidance of the Bhagavatam, they have painted. And so attractive. And these beautiful pictures actually help us mentally conceive the transcendental beauty. Because a picture is worth 1,000 words. Bhagavatam describes, but these beautiful images give us a clear image by which we can actually conceive and see. So beautiful. Practically nowhere else we find such beautiful depictions or artist impressions, I should say, because actually no painting can actually completely capture the Lord's beauty. It's impossible. We cannot even capture 0.1%. What to speak of complete? But at least it gives us a sense of appreciation of the transcendental form of the Lord. So we are so thankful to Prabhupada and his disciples for making those beautiful pictures available of various pastimes. Lord Shiva then describes to the Prachetas what is the benefit of this kind of meditation. Etad rupam anudhyayam atma shuddhim abhipsatam yad bhakti yogo abhayadaha swadharmam anutishtatam. If you want actual purification, the previous purification was to prepare for engaging in this meditation. But this meditation will actually purify one on the transcendental form. Those who want to be purified should meditate on this form. Devotion to this form will give us freedom from all fear. Abhaya. Bhajahu re mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanaravindan. When your mind is engaged in the absorption in the Lord's transcendental form, Abhaya, one becomes fearless. When one takes the shelter of these lotus feet of this transcendental form, the lotus feet of the Lord give shelter to all living entities from all kinds of fears. Even those who are absorbed in material activities, they give all fearlessness, is what the Bhagavatam says. And this transcendental form of the Lord is attainable only through bhakti. Lord Shiva says, Bhavan bhakti mata labhyo. Oh Lord, Bhavan bhakti mata labhyo. Only one who has bhakti can attain you. Lord Shiva is saying, Bhakti mata labhyo sudurlabha sarvadehinam. Otherwise, the people in general are sudurlabha, very difficult to attain. Even Indra and Brahma are desiring to attain you. You are also the destination of the Kumaras and others who are knowers of the Atma. Ekanten Atmana Vidagati. Even the liberated souls are wanting to attain you. What does that mean? That bhakti is postgraduate study. Graduation is attaining transcendental platform of being free from the modes and attaining liberation. But bhakti is beyond. That is why amongst all the purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, bhakti is after moksha, beyond. We are talking about Shuddha Bhakti here. Of course, the sadhana of bhakti we can start now, but attainment of Nirguna Bhakti, attainment of Ananya Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, is a transcendental state beyond liberation. And this kind of bhakti, Lord Shiva says, is very rare to attain. Tam duraradhyam aradhya satam api durapaya ekanta bhaktya ko ancheta pada moolam vinabahi. It's very difficult, O Lord, to worship you in a pure state like this. It's very difficult. It is simple, but it is difficult. Because why is simple? This is the form. Everybody can meditate, but it is so difficult. Why? Because they are not properly purified and they do not have that proper mood of Ekanta Bhakti. Exclusive focus on serving and pleasing the Lord. Most people, even if they approach the Lord, they use the Lord as a means to an end. I am worshipping the Lord so that I'll be free from misery. I'm worshipping the Lord so that I will attain material goals. I'm worshipping the Lord so that I will attain liberation. But that is not Ekanta Bhakti. Yes, one may still get all those goals, but one will lose out on that highest attainment, which is pure bhakti. Tam duraradhyam satam api, even for liberated souls, O Lord, it is not easy to achieve pure bhakti for you and to worship you. Only by ekantya bhakti, which is very rare, durapaya, it is possible. And that is why those who are actually intelligent, Lord Shiva says, they will not even aspire for all these external things, bahirvastu, like swarga and other things. Because there is no attainment of the lotus feet of you, O Lord, within such attainment. So they are not attracted. So this bhakti is very rare. So very beautifully Lord Shiva is glorified. He is saying, by transcendental meditation on the form of the Lord, one can be purified from all ignorance. The real goal is attainment of pure bhakti, which is a state even beyond liberation. And it can be attained by Ekanta Bhakti. And he will soon come to the point of describing how that Ekanta Bhakti is achieved. But there's one thing he wants to talk about is those who are actually such Ekanta Bhaktas, those who are pure devotees, even death cannot affect them. Yatra nirvishtam aranam kritanto nabhimanyate vishvam vidvamsayan virya shaurya vispurjita bhruva. A soul who surrendered to your lotus feet, even time, kala, cannot approach him. That time which vanquishes the whole world cannot touch a devotee. What does that mean? Two things it means. One is that The agency of time destroys everything, but it can only destroy material things. Bhakti is not material. So time doesn't affect. That's why a devotee, it's not that the devotee doesn't die. It's not that devotee may not, be affected by calamities. No, that's not what it means. What it means is a devotee, his devotional attainment and his transcendental ultimate destination cannot be influenced by time. Actually, as time is passing, a person who's on the path of pure devotional service just gets closer and closer and closer to achieving Krishna's lotus feet. So all of us here who are sincere sadhakas, with every rising and setting of the sun, Udyan Astan, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam, with every rising and setting of the sun, every person in this world comes closer to death by one day, except those who are worshipping Lord Hari. Why? They're not going to die? No, for them, this is not a death where it just takes away everything material. Death opens for them the doors to the transcendental realm. So for them, they're just getting closer and closer to enter back, into the spiritual world. Right? So if you're sincerely practicing bhakti, after one day goes, we should say, yes, one day less before going to Golok Vrindavan. Yes. As long as we are still in bhakti. If we give up bhakti, then we have to reset our counter. So you can say, yes, we are closer by one day. So time doesn't matter what happens externally. If a devotee is fixed in the path of pure devotional service, he is getting closer, and even time cannot affect. And this kind of bhakti, Lord Shiva says, can be attained by the association of other great souls. So how do we become fortunate? This kind of great fortune, which even the sattas, even liberated souls find it very difficult to attain. Who attains this kind of devotion, and what is the means? He says, Shanardhe napi tulaye naswargam na punarbhavam bhagavad sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashishah. Very beautiful verse. Even half a moment of association with such a devotee, Ekanta Bhakta, cannot be compared to even attainment of heavenly planets or even mukti, which are the results of karma and jnana. So, Prachetas, you must seek out the association of devotees. Then you will get properly guided and inspired and receive the blessings to pursue the path of Ekanta Bhakti, which is the path of the real good fortune for the Jiva. So you want devotee association, so pray like this. Then Lord Shiva gives a couple of prayers to the Prachetas that if you want devotee association, this is how you should pray. To the Lord. Okay, so he's teaching them how to pray to the Lord. Please give me the association of your devotees who are completely purified by the famous Ganga arising from your lotus feet, who are always compassionate and have proper conduct and pure hearts. O Lord Hari, such association is your real mercy. Such a powerful verse. Syat Sangamo Anugraha Esha Naha Tava. Such powerful words. This kind of association with pure devotees who are fully purified from all material desires, who are very compassionate and have pure hearts and proper conduct. This association is your greatest gift. Why? Backtrack. If you have this association, you get pure bhakti. Pure bhakti is the real attainment, even beyond. And if you attain that, even beyond karma and jnana, even beyond liberation and swarga, and if you attain that, you can achieve the complete perfection of your heart's desire. And these kind of devotees who have attained this kind of love for you, Ekanta Bhakti, their hearts are so fixed on your loving devotion, oh my Lord. It is never agitated by objects of external desire. They don't feel sleepy when they are chanting your names. They don't feel sleepy in Bhagavatam class. Some of us at a sadhaka level, this is a symptom of still ignorance in the heart. We are fresh, but as soon as we start chanting the holy names, what happens? You start feeling sleepy. Anybody has had that experience? You feel okay, morning, you feel fresh, you get up, wash your, take bath, get dressed, you're feeling fresh. When you sit for japa, start chanting after some time, you start feeling sleepy. That is a symptom. Sudhir Sundar Prabhu is raising his hands. Yes, Prabhu, you are the only conditioned soul here. And me, two of us. All others are liberated souls who have perfect attraction for the transcendental form of the Lord. So those who are not purified may sometimes see these symptoms. Of course, it's not the only symptom. There are many symptoms Acharya has explained, but in the stage of purification, one may feel sleepy. The mode of ignorance also becomes prominent as the heart is becoming slowly purified. And when such devotees engage in the process of bhakti, blessed by Bhakti Devi, they are able to actually understand the Lord's transcendental name form activities. Rupa Goswami very beautifully says, Atashri Atashri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyahi sevonmukhe hi jivvadau swayam eva spuratyada. That the transcendental name, form, qualities and pastimes of the transcendental Lord cannot be fully understood just by the mind and the material senses. It is not possible. But when one starts engaging in the transcendental service of the Lord, beginning with chanting his holy names and other services, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, Swayam eva spuratyadha. By the grace of Bhakti Devi, by the grace of the Lord, one is able to actually understand and realize the transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the transcendental Lord. It's a process of internal realization. So, having described this, Lord Shiva then goes into another area. He first starts describing that there are some people who are not actually attracted directly to the transcendental form of the Lord. But then there's, some of them are attracted to the Brahman form of the Lord, the Brahma Jyoti. But this Brahma Jyoti is nothing but effulgence of the Lord. And from this effulgence comes the material creation. This material creation is actually manifested with your external energy. Actually, this material universe is also, in one sense, a manifestation of you only. Because it's coming from your energy, it is in one sense not different. It is different from you, but at the same time not different from you. People who are in illusion, they see you as different and the material universe as different. But it's not like that. Everything is your part and parcel. You are also present within your material creation. That is why those who are of advanced consciousness understand that everything is in you and you are in everything. So there are some technicalities here which I'm going to skip. And he describes how this whole material creation comes out from the original Purusha avatar, Mahavishnu, who has a Supta Shakti. He's in his Yoga Nidra, and so many universes are manifesting. The material energy is agitated with the three modes, and whole process of creation happens. And this whole process of creation, why is it happening? It is just created, not because the Lord is wanting to enjoy matter. He creates it just to give a facility to living entities who want to enjoy, independent of the Lord, to try to imitate him, to do that. A nice example Prabhupada gives. in many places, not here, the verse doesn't say, but Prabhupada gives the example many times. Just like the mother is cooking in the kitchen, sometimes small children, they may be bothering the mother and they also are excited about cooking. So what does the mother do? She gives some toys to the children so that the parents don't, the children don't disturb. And taking those toys, the children try to imitate the mother by pretending to cook. They also think we are cutting, see now we are cooking. But obviously, whatever they are doing is not going to produce anything which is actually eatable. And they're trying to imitate the mother. But similarly, this material creation is repeatedly created and destroyed again and again. The play of the children may go on for a few hours, but our play of trying to imitate the Lord may go on for many, many lifetimes, sometimes over so many creations. We don't know how long we have been in the material world. Until we actually grow up and realize that we should, we are just imitating. We are trying to be the Lord. So Lord Shiva says, "O Lord, having said all this, ultimately everybody should worship your lotus feet. In fact, what intelligent person would refuse to worship your lotus feet? Those who actually understand what is the value of your lotus feet and how worshipping your lotus feet bestows the most desirable goals. Even Brahmaji is worshipping your lotus feet to get free from rebirth. And the 14 Manus are worshipping your lotus feet with faith. Which foolish man will refuse to worship? For those who are actually wise, for them you are the goal. So what does that mean? One can find out who is wise by understanding what is their goal. It's very simple. If they have material goal, that means they are less intelligent. Correct? Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita also. Kamaiste ritagyana prapadyante anya devata. Those whose intelligence are not so good, they are distracted by material desires. They worship the devatas for various material desires. But those who are really intelligent, they worship me. For those who are wise, you are the goal. And for those who are ignorant, death is their goal. Which means they're all headed towards death. And death will press the reset button on all their material attainments for that life. And they have to start all over again. Like one very famous Prabhupada disciple says, back to Pampers. Okay, we grew up from Pampers, going all the way up. We said, we're progressing. Yes, I became famous. I made so much wealth, this. And finally, material nature presses a reset button. Back to Pampers. So start all over again. That is the cruelty of material nature. So Lord Shiva is concluding the prayers by having said all this. Some of the verses have not gone into the technicality, so you can please read. So I'm not covering each and every verse. So Lord Shiva first explains to the Prachadas, having recited these prayers, how should they chant these prayers? So he says, oh, my dear Prachetas, please continue to perform your prescribed duties, because you are not, you're not at the Ananya Bhakti level. You're still Karma Mishra Bhaktas. You have your duties. And also you have come here not to achieve pure Bhakti. You are devotees, but you're not pure devotees. You came here because you have a job to fulfill. That your project is to produce good progeny, and you wanted to produce good progeny because your father instructed and you wanted to perform austerity. So it's good. So as you are doing these prescribed duties of increasing the population of the world, do it with pure hearts. Offer your mind to the Lord and chant this prayer. In that way, you will be able to make spiritual progress towards pure devotion. Krishna is in everybody's hearts. Continue to chant his glories, meditate on the form of his that I have described, and worship him regularly. So perform your prescribed duties with a pure heart and worship him. I mean, Krishna instructed similarly in the Bhagavad Gita, right? For those who are attached to Karma Yoga, he says you perform your prescribed duties in a detachment and always continue to worship him. very nicely. So this prayer that I have given you, Lord Shiva says, study it properly, contemplate on it. See, whatever prayers we have, whatever we are hearing in class also, this is not just an entertainment. We heard, oh, I felt nice at the end of the class. Okay, now next time also I'll want to feel nice. This is not like listening to a music song or something like that. These are very profound subject matters with deep wisdom for contemplation. Shravan must be followed by Manan. Manan means one contemplates. Oh, okay, like this. Okay. Then slowly one starts understanding and internalizing the knowledge. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. It becomes gradually internalized. Follow your vows very strictly and concentrating your intelligence. Regularly chant these prayers that I have given you with great respect. This Rudra Gita, by the way, Lord Shiva is telling them that I am giving you, actually I also learnt it from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma gave us these prayers. And he instructed us after giving these prayers to create progeny. So in Parampara, I received it from Brahma. I am giving it to you because you also want to produce progeny. You also do this prayer so that your ignorance will be destroyed and you will be able to execute your duties in pure consciousness for the purpose of pleasing the Lord as a service to the Lord. In that way, you will make advancement. And then Lord Shiva comes to the last part where he describes what is the Falashruti, what is the goal, what is the attainment by reciting these prayers. He says, by reciting these prayers, you will get the highest attainment. What is the highest attainment? Not having children. I mean, that you will get anyways. That you will also get. Not attaining liberation or Swarga. No. The highest attainment, as I described to you, was to become a Ekanta Bhakta. Of becoming a devotee of the Lord. That is why I have told you this. Yes, you came for children, you will get the necessary purification and attainment to do your service nicely, but that is not the end goal. The end goal is not just to have a happy material life and then die and then again back to pamper and then another happy material life and then die. That is not what we are about. We want to achieve pure devotional service. So I've given you all this knowledge by which you can transcend material existence. Please, with great faith, you chant this song that I've given you, Shraddhaya, because with faith and devotion, if you chant this song, you'll be able to please the Lord. And only if the Lord is pleased with bhakti, the Lord becomes conquered. Ajita becomes Jita. He who cannot be conquered by force is conquered by simple love and simple devotion. A steady person who sings this song of mine, Mad Gita Gitat, he attains the best of whatever he desires if he sings this song. By hearing these prayers in early morning and letting others hear them, frees one from the bondage of karma. So recite these prayers with concentration, which are as effective as great tapasya, and in the end, you will attain your desired results. What desired results? We already discussed. Their actual desired result at that point in time wasn't pure devotion. It was to fulfill the service that was given to them. So Lord Shiva is so kind. They were faithful, they were devotees, but they were karma mishra bhaktis. But Lord Shiva came to them and gave them the process by which they can also get the material result they want, but it will lead them higher and beyond. So the Guru is like this, the spiritual master, because the living entities are in ignorance, they don't even know what is actually the desirable goal. But if they are sincere, non-envious, Krishna says those who are innocent and non-envious, they can become fortunate by the instructions of the great souls, because the great souls will give us instructions in a way that not only our immediate needs will be fulfilled, but we will progressively go towards the greatest goal. And Lord Shiva has already hinted what is the easiest way to go to the greatest goal. Huh? By getting association of those who are Ekanta Bhaktas, purified devotees. Then one can very, very rapidly attain the greatest fortune. That is why the real blessing of the Lord is to get the association of those who have pure devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or at least those who are pursuing the path of pure devotion sincerely. So this brings us to the end of Rudra Gita. Okay. Rudra Gita ki jai, Rudra Deva ki jai. Hari Bol. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Sudhir Sundar Prabhu.
Bro, I just want to share two points or one more like to clarify. I've also heard that when you are worship Lord Shiva or even to Durga, at times whatever material things that you kind of worship and all, they intend to kind of give it to you much earlier or even much more easier because they don't want you to kind of disturb their own what is that concentration to the what supreme Lord. So that means when in short, that means when you want desire all these material things, they kind of intend to give it to you easily, so that what time can be what focus in what higher what things, like what giving a bones to the chicken. I don't know, some thing I heard somewhere. I'm not sure. I mean, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. See, the Devatas. No, you're right, Prabhu. You're right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. So yeah, so the principle is that the Devatas, especially we are talking about Lord Shiva, Durga Devi, because they are not ordinary living entities. Lord Shiva is incarnation of the Lord. Durga Devi is the Lord's energy. She's Vishnu's energy. She's Vaishnavi. So they are not actually interested in, for them it is not impressive. People are coming to them, give me this, give me this, give me this. They are like thinking, yaar, kya mang raha hai ye? What is this guy asking? He doesn't even know. He's asking for something which is only going to cause him misery, even if I give him. So those who are actually truly purified devatas, we're talking about the higher devatas, they are not particularly pleased when materialistic individuals ask them, and they know that these individuals don't even love them. They are just coming to them because they feel they will get, just like, some people, even in this world, they are sycophants of some person just because they want to get something out from somebody. If there's a rich man, many people will go near him, try to be nice to him just so that they can get some benefit out of him. Yeah, everybody wants to be close to a rich and powerful person, not because they love them, but because they want to get some benefit out. So the rich man also knows why these people are sticking to me. The day he becomes poor, he knows nobody will come. So the devatas also know, and that's why they are not actually interested. So those who come with such a transactional motivation, the devatas may give them what they want just to get rid of them. But the Shastras do say that those who worship the devatas without material desires. So those who do not have material desires but worship a devata thinking that this devata is the Lord, the devata becomes kind to them because the devata themselves are devotees of the Lord. They become kind by giving the blessing of helping to introduce them and connect them to the real boss, who is their boss. So no. You want real benefit, you want to do selfless service. No, you direct your efforts here. And many devotees have this experience that those who have been worshipping Shiva, Durga, Ganesh very sincerely without material desires, many of them, the devatas have arranged for them to come in contact with, to understand who's the original Supreme Personality of God, who's the Supreme Aradhya. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur Aradhana Param. Lord Shiva himself says, of all types of worship, worship of Lord Hari is the topmost. And when you go and worship Lord Hari, what Lord Hari will do? Lord Shiva says that in the second line. Tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samarchanam. Higher than worshipping Lord Hari is to worship the Lord Hari's devotees. So Lord Hari, first thing he will do when you come to him sincerely, he will send you to devotees. Because through the association of devotees, very easily Lord Hari becomes accessible. Otherwise, very difficult. Durapaya, Lord Shiva himself. Ekanta Bhakti is difficult business. You need massive help. You need massive coaching. You need massive guidance. You need massive grace marks to pass. So Krishna's real grace, the Devata's grace is to connect to the Lord. Or sometimes if the Devata themselves are like Lord Shiva, who are pure devotees themselves, they may themselves give that grace. But those are very extraordinary situations. But generally they will guide us to a guru, in whose association one can actually make proper spiritual advancement. And that is why it is said, akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo dharati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one has all material desires or no material desires, one should worship the Lord Hari, because like Lord Shiva says, even though your ultimate goal is not bhakti, if you worship Lord Hari with this process, gradually even your goal will be purified. You understand? Gradually through purification, one will come to the realization, oh, my goal itself is wrong. Actually, the goal is not to get something from Vishnu, but the goal is Vishnu. It's not to get something from, oh, I wanted something beautiful from Vishnu, but after some time I realized Lord Vishnu's transcendental body is the epitome of all beauty. What I am asking from him, this beauty, that beauty, I want to go to the Indraloka, to go to the Kanana Nandana gardens, which are so beautiful. All beauty is just a tiny speck of his beauty. So isn't it best to just attain his association? To always meditate on his transcendental form? That is Sarvendriya Gunanjanam. That is the perfection of satisfaction of all the senses. So gradually through purification, through the process of somehow engaging in the Lord's service, even with material desires, one will gradually come to that process. But if one is very fortunate to get the association of pure devotees, then one becomes so fortunate that very rapidly one attains that supreme destination. Very rapidly. And the Shastras say elsewhere, I'm just it's not directly related to Prabhu's question, but just adding something on top. The Acharyas go to the extent of saying, actually, there's a verse in the Bhagavad. I don't remember that verse, and the Acharyas comment on that verse. It says that when one comes in the association of pure devotees, one must understand that one has almost come to the end of his material journey. One has almost come to, it's almost done. It's like, when a person gets association of pure devotees. Why? The Acharyas say that because once one gets the association of pure devotee, it is practical. That association is so powerful. Lavena. The Lord Shiva himself says, Kshanardhenapi tulaye. Kshana ardha, half a moment of association. Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya. Of who are Bhagavat Sangi, who have a very strong relationship with the Lord. It gives us such an impetus to attain towards attaining the supreme destination that very, very rapidly, practically it takes us to the highest destination at a very rapid rate. And that is why that association is very, very desirable. So why we are discussing all this? So that we understand that the facility that we have got, we have already been blessed with the highest facility. So No need to go on knocking on other doors, thinking, I don't know what. Huh? If Lord Shiva is saying, Lord Brahma is saying, all the greatest devotees are saying this is what, and you have already got that, let us appreciate the blessing that we have got. Because if we go through the Bhagavatam, we'll realize that Prabhupada has created a system through which this greatest blessing can be made available to everyone who's sincerely willing to take that opportunity. So that is the great blessing. Jai. Sorry, long answer. Any other questions or comments? Anybody? Wonderful. So thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Rudra Gita ki jai. So we will meet on Wednesday, and like I mentioned, we'll discuss about Krishna Janmashtami on Wednesday. Okay. So please prepare yourselves. Again, a gentle reminder for those who want to, please contribute to your local temples. If anybody wants to donate to the KL temple, please reach out to me. There are many offering types available, which I had already published. If you're not sure, just contact and I will guide you. It's very nice to purify our Lakshmi by giving donation to the Lord. Okay, thank you very much. And also today, Vyas Puja of Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj was celebrated. I think the actual appearance tithi is tomorrow, right, Sarva Lakshmi Mataji? Yeah. It was celebrated today in the temple. So we all attended. It was a nice festival. So happy Vyas Puja to all the disciples. It's always nice to purifying to worship the great souls, honor them, glorify them, serve them. That is always very, very purifying. Okay, so we offer our obeisances to Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj and all the wonderful spiritual masters who are busy delivering conditioned souls. So that is our saving grace that we have their association. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Rita ji, Santanam ji, Veena ji. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Ashwin 19470. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Prashant ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna and thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananda Sundari Mataji and others. Yes. Yes, Sridevi ji, Sapna ji, Bhaskar, Sachiprema Mataji. Thank you, everyone. And there's two beautiful girls I'm seeing in the window. Yes. Yes.
Hare
You
Krishna.
also. Haribol, Haribol. Nice to see both of you, Aditi. Also, yes. Okay, so